Welcome to Taste Buds. I'm Debra Eckerling, goal strategist, writer, and foodie. And today I'm speaking with Chaya and Yossi Segelman, founders of Our Big Kitchen LA, aka OBKLA. So wonderful to see you and chat with you. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having us.
Pleasure. Good to be with you.
So I know what OBKLA is, but why don't you tell everybody? Let's start there.
Let's go for that.
Our Big Kitchen Los Angeles is the OBKLA. It's a place where people from all walks of life come together to prepare food for those. And a bit about the history.
Sure. So the concept started in Australia about 20 years ago, in Sydney, Australia. And we started here August 2020. We started with 6 volunteers, a chef, a Dashi family, in a shuttered restaurant that belonged to family. And we produced about 150 meals in 2 hours. And we thought that was kind of cool. Let's do this again. So we started doing it weekly. And we posted in October, we opened up an Instagram account. We posted a picture of what we were doing, and it got around. And before we knew it, there was a lot of people that reached out to us that they wanted to get involved. And within a short period of time, we had hundreds of volunteers who were sort of clamoring for spots, and got to a point where the shuttered restaurant wanted to become unshuttered, wanted to open up again, and wanted us out of there. And about that time, the wonderful Feder family, Steve, Mr. Feder, and now Steve is our chairman. They reached out to us and were looking to dedicate something in honor and in memory of Steve's mom, who had passed away in 2019. Her name was Margaret. And Margaret Feder was a survivor of Auschwitz. Esther, who's Margaret's daughter-in-law, Steve's wife, had volunteered at our Big Kitchen. And sort of that set the wheels in motion for a beautiful partnership where essentially the family dedicated. So the organization is called Margaret Feder Our Big Kitchen. And as a result of this wonderful dedication and sponsorship and donation, we were able to move at a beautiful facility, 4,600 square foot facility, right in Pico Boulevard, Pico and Bedford Street. And since we moved into that space, we actually opened up our doors in June 14th of 2022. That's in about 18 months. We were able to host more than 15,000 volunteers and produce sort of about 90,000 meals, more than 100,000 baked good items, and sort of it took OBKLA to a whole new level. So that's really just our history as to how we got to where we got.
So you bring a bunch of people together, they create food for those in need. And food is so important. Volunteerism is so important. It seems like you really found a beautiful way to unite the two. And I feel like the value is obvious, but what do you see as that value?
I feel like if food is so universal and everybody connects over food, over cooking, it's something that everybody has in common. So when we bring people together, when there are people that walk into the room, strangers that don't know each other, whether they're coming with an open group, or if they're even coming with their company, with their team, with their organization, with their school, they're connecting on a different level. But once you're working with food, you go down to like a really human level and connect in a different way. So it's really beautiful to see those human connections taking place while they're cooking with the added intention of feeding others. So it's a physical cooking that everyone has something to say, whether, they're chopping vegetables. This is how I chop my vegetables. My grandmother made. It's just a beautiful conduit to bring people together and to.
So these groups come together, ranging from a dozen people to 100 people. It really is beautiful. And the food is beautiful. The ingredients we use are beautiful. So we have part-time chefs that lead these activities. We have a dozen recipe items that we choose from. So if it's a Monday, we're making our meatballs, we're making a gnocchi and beef rack. Whatever dishes that we're making, everything's prepared on the table. The ingredients are set out, and the chef then leads everyone in that task. And this is the first step, is then chopping the vegetables. The second step would be chopping the protein. The third step would be preparing the packaging. Then the chocolate chip.
We always make around 600 chocolate chip cookies at every session. And nothing makes people feel more loved than a homemade chocolate chip cookie.
Exactly. So every meal goes out with a pair of chocolate chip cookies or a scone or an apple turnover.
So I want to know, what is it for you that you've chosen food as your vehicle to bring people together?
I think food represents love. Like everyone, when they think about food, they think about their kitchen at home, what their mom would make, or what like food feels like family. So I think that just
That's beautiful. I mean, yeah, very, very true. But I think for me, I don't know how to cook. I
Tell everybody.
I wrote the first thing about cooking. So for me, it's less about the food. I mean, it's the amazing to
but
me.
it's also something that whether you know or like to cook or not, you're doing it.
They're doing it. Correct, right.
I'm learning something.
Correct. And there's no hierarchy either. Everyone's for me, honestly, it's the connection people are making. And yes, it's fantastic to be involved in all of that.
I come from a nutrition background.
Nutrition, but when you see people connecting on something which is very, very simplistic, this is a meal going to someone in the next 24 hours to sustain them. That's something very, very powerful. And I would like to say it's not just nourishing people's stomach, it's lifting their spirit. So when we're able to do this in a beautiful environment, in a joyous environment, and get together for the simple reason of just helping someone else. You're not here to socialize. You're not here to get brownie points. You're not here for any other reason, mind the pun, but simply do something for others. I see the transformation in, when people come in, sometimes for the first time, I'll see sort of that unsure look in their eyes. What are they doing? Are they doing the right? Or whether it's a teenager who's volunteering, he comes in with that bit of that awkward step, and then by the time they leave 2 hours later, they've got a spring in their step, a smile on their face. I know it's because they put themselves aside for 2 hours. Oh, that's really beautiful.
So, Chaya, did you just say that you have a nutrition background?
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got what happens when a non-cook and a cook get together and try to make the world a better place. This is what comes out.
Pretty much, yeah.
I enjoy the system, the structure, the process. I love the feeding people. So what we'll be able to do is sort of our strengths put together, which is the systems, the process, and the setting up the infrastructure together with the joy in feeding people, connections, which obviously Chaya likes connecting people. And we've just been blessed that we have a phenomenal group of partners, charity partners, which is critical. So we make the food, but we rely on 33 charity partners to distribute it to the people who need it most. That's not our specialty. We make the food, we bring the people together to make the food, but there is other beautiful organizations that distribute. And we've got a great team of ambassadors, which are our core volunteers that just come back over and over and over again. So we've got a beautiful staff, and then thousands of volunteers just want to come and help make LA a better place.
We are all in Los Angeles, but this is really for anybody anywhere. So for those who aren't here, who want to do something related to food, what volunteer opportunities are out there beyond what you all do?
That's a great question. I would suggest as follows. There's 4 organizations that have started up modeling. So we've modeled Australia because I was obviously very involved in helping them there and continue to be involved. But there's an organization in San Diego. There's an organization in Texas. There's our giving in Pittsburgh and Healing Hearts in Miami. Essentially, it's a similar concept where volunteers are coming together on different scale. It's much smaller than what we do here in Australia, but it's beautiful. They're coming together to prepare food, distributing it via charity. And really anyone can do this in any city or state or town that they may be in, is they can come together with a group of friends, do this structurally, they can do this loosely, and just get together to prepare something nutritious to be able to distribute to others. And they're always welcome to reach out to us so we can help guide them. There's a lot of local food banks, there's a lot of local food projects, but just I think the joy in people together and cooking or packaging of food, there's something beautiful.
And so, Chaya, what is it that you love so much about cooking and that cooking and sharing process?
I firstly, I love the creative again, and again with the nutrition part of that, the nutrition background. From all of the charities that we're talking to, a lot of the times they have been receiving either food bank or packaged items. It's the first time we're able to go in and say, what nutrition does everyone need? So We have our protein. We have our root vegetables. The vegetables are beautiful and fresh on the market. It's all food that we would want to eat ourselves. So I think I love seeing the whole process of it. Again, when people come in and there's a raw ingredient on the table, by the time they leave, they've already connected for 2 hours, packaged the food, and you see the complete impact of what you've done. The smells, the colors, the textures, just everything coming together so beautifully and with so much intention.
Well, it sounds to me that, and I love this message. Basically, anyone can come together. I mean, if you're in LA, go to OBKLA or see what other options are here. But really, any place, anywhere in the country or the world,
Yeah,
you can get together with friends and bake cookies and send them along, or make a meal and
exactly.
find which organizations are in your area can distribute. Is that
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it could be small, it could be big. You could just, but I think the love that goes into the food. So when you get people together and it's for that intention, besides the benefit of having that time together to prepare, just think about what it feels like to eat someone else. That you know that this food that you're preparing is made to feed and nourish someone else that they need. Then all the love that goes into that makes a big difference.
I think, add, if I may, Debra, to Kai's, our tagline, we don't love unity. And I think all you listeners, they can just sort of keep that in mind. Meals, love, unity, community. Those are the four pieces of the puzzle. Meals, because it's obviously a fresh, nutritious meal. Love, because when you're doing it with this, we call it kabo, dignity, respect. When you're doing it, not just because, you're doing this as sort of as almost repackaging something that you have in your fridge, but you're consciously going out there, getting
Creating it.
creating, doing this with intent, and putting a phone aside for 2 hours. Really, the recipients feel that. They feel that intent. They feel that you're not just doing it for the photo op. They feel that you're
Yeah.
doing it
I feel
because it's touching your soul.
like Debra, imagine you or anyone, any of your other listeners at home that just have that power of saying, let's bring 10 friends to my kitchen and let's cook 10 meals together, or let's make a big serving and bring it to the local shelter. The recipient, like firstly, the experience that you would have doing that together.
Yeah.
And I feel like anyone could do this anywhere. Reach out to your local organizations and you can get a group of friends, start small, get a group of friends together and just make one meal.
And I would also add on that point is find out what is needed. Don't just make something that you think is needed. Make a quick phone call and say, can you just let me know? That's how we came up with a meatball concept. Because we found out that many, typically of Udro and many other demographics as well, have oral hygiene issues. It's something that the patty or that's something that, like a meatball, something that is easy to chew. That's so much more, so much more, that's really what they need and what they want. I'd encourage, you really ought to find out what the need is. Don't think too much about it. Do it. Get together and actually do it, and do it without intent. The other two components are unity and community. Unity is because it's one thing that it doesn't make a difference what age bracket, what school you went to, what zip code you live in, what car you drive. Absolutely everyone can do this together. This is the way you build community. Doing something, which is higher than oneself, and just putting ourselves aside for 2 hours is a game changer.
it's a benefit, obviously, to the people that you're feeding, but it sounds like the volunteers and the two of you get just as much, if not more, joy from this process.
100%.
Yeah.
It's really,
Well, and I know we love your meatballs and your chocolate chip cookies, and I've interviewed you before, so we will link to that article so people can get those recipes. But is there another recipe that we can add to this conversation to put in the recap?
With some of our groups that come into corporate groups, we've been doing a new recipe, which everybody loves making, process of making it. And then obviously it's a gift to the recipient to be able to eat the quality of a meal. But they've been making a homemade gnocchi from scratch. So the volunteers will actually learn how to make the gnocchi.
is it gnocchi and gnocchi?
Gnocchi. And then the chef prepares a beef ragu that goes on top of that.
But you can also do that as a veggie, as a vegetable.
Yeah.
So essentially and we'll send you the recipe, but potato gnocchi. So the idea here is you're taking potatoes, you're heating them up, you then cut them all out, you'll poke a couple holes in them. Then you'll buy, you can get a rice jar on Amazon, which means you'll scoop out the actual potato, you compost call it the outside, the peel, You'll then take that potato,
I'm like someone who's never cooked before. No,
put it in a ricer, you'll rice it, and then you will mix eggs and nutmeg, believe it or not, and a little bit of oil.
We have the
So
recipe.
I'll tell you the recipe,
Yeah.
and then you'll make it into a dough. Then you'll roll it out, and then you'll either use a bone scraper or a knife just to cut some size pieces of gnocchi. You'll then a little bit of flour sprinkled on it, and then you'll boil this in a pot with a tiny little bit of oil. Again, you'll see the exact amount on the recipe. And then just a couple of minutes later, you've got a beautiful fresh gnocchi. And then the ragu can either be beef with some vegetables, or you can use chickpea as the protein. I'm going to tell you both of those recipes. You've got the gnocchi and beef ragu, or gnocchi and chickpea ragu. And then you can add some fresh vegetables with that as well.
What's really nice is that, again, like it's about the recipients, but like how much fun it is for the volunteers to make, and they're learning these recipes. But it's also for the recipients to be able to eat such good quality food that we would all pay good money for takeout, be able to feed them with dignity, and for them to feel like, well, this is, to be able to have access and just to lift their spirits a little bit more.
And I, like Chaya, thought it was hilarious that the non-cook is the one with the recipes. So it must be rubbing off on you a little bit.
That's yeah. That's what I'm saying. If he can do it, then anyone's can.
Thank you so much, Chaya and Yossi Segelman, for sharing your OBKLA journey, but also some tips about what people can do to prepare food and volunteer, find the places they need that. So I really appreciate your time and your experience and your obvious passion. Where can people learn more about you and OBKLA?
Our website is www.obkla.org, and our Instagram as well. That's at OBK Los Angeles. And yeah, we'd love to hear from anyone that would like to come and volunteer, participate, bring their corporate groups, their teams, just come with their family on a fun day. We'd love to welcome everybody.
And thank you, Debra, for your time. Really appreciate you giving us this opportunity to share the joy of volunteering.
Do you have a final piece of food for thought? Yes, I know what I did there.
I'd say,
I think
I just honestly just say, don't think too much. Just do it.
I was gonna say that as well.
Yeah,
It doesn't take much to make a difference. So just making that quick decision. Yes, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do something.
And as cheesy as it is, we really can spread light and love. We can. It really does make a difference. You lift one person's spirits, they can change the world one meal at a time. Try it. There we go.
I love that. Thank you both so much for joining me today. And thank you for tuning in to Taste Buds with Deb. Don't miss an episode. You can subscribe on YouTube and or your favorite podcast platform. And if you go to jewishjournal.com/podcast, you can get the recipes and read the articles that go with each episode. So I'm excited about the gnocchi. And remember, you can learn more at tastebudswithdeb.com. Until next time, bon appetit.